Hello again, NATCA members. Back to the topic of pay. Over the past couple of months, I've laid out a very comprehensive assessment of the pay in Article 108 of the 2016 CBA. One of the questions I get is, when did I figure this out? Well, first, let me say this. It wasn't just me. We had a couple people working on this, and it took a while to really wrap our heads around exactly what happened, how it happened, and exactly how bad it was. But first, a little bit about my career. I started at the FAA Academy in January of 2007. For those that didn't know, in the first wave of new hires under the FAA's imposed work rules, it wasn't a real good time. How bad was it? I was paid about $9 an hour, had to get myself to Oklahoma City, and I was not paid per diem while I was there. So I learned very quickly how much the FAA hated me personally and the controller workforce as a whole. It was on full display for my first day in the agency. When I graduated from the academy, my assignment was Boston Tower. Not a great place for a New Yorker and a Jets fan, but I'd have to make do. So I hunkered down, trained, and certified. Then in June of 2009, the Red Book came into effect and pay was fixed. What does fixed mean? I didn't know it at the time, but fixed wasn't the same for everyone. To understand what fixed meant, you really had to go back and learn to understand what existed before the 2016 imposed work rules and the Green Book. You had to learn what GS pay scale was and how facilities used to be compensated. For me at Boston Tower, pre-reclass, it was a GS 14. The 2009 Red Book pay bands set the bottom of an ATC 10 within a couple $100s of a GS 14 Step 4. So for me and all my coworkers at Boston, our pay was 4 years ahead of where it would have been had reclass not occurred. So at Boston Tower, from about 2009 to about 2016, I really didn't hear many pay concerns. But when we did regional fact rep meetings, I'd hear it. In 2018, when I was running for RVP and I traveled the region, I really started to hear it from the grassroots level, from the controllers on the floor. Then as RVP in 2019, 2020, 2021, it got louder and louder. Then in 2021, something odd happened. We started to get a high number of resignations from Bedford and Bangor. And where were they going? Well, it turns out to the DoD. So in late 2021, with my New England leadership team, we started to try and figure out why. Why resign and go to the DoD? Initially, we thought it was because of the chronic low staffing. What we learned was if you're an ATC 6 or below, the 2016 CBA pays you less than the GS pay scale. All these resignations were going to DoD GS 12 positions, and once we saw it, it was hard to argue with. Bedford's an ATC 6. A 6-year CPC at Bedford Tower makes about $3,000 less annually than a GS 12. Bangor's an ATC 5. A 6-year CPC at Bangor Tower and Tracon makes about $11,000 less annually than a GS 12. Same retirement, same annual, same sick leave, same federal protections, but more money. It took us a while to pull all the data together, to cross-check it, develop comparisons. But the question's this. If a couple knuckleheads from New England can dissect and recreate reclass, work the math from the pre-1998 through 1998 CBA, through the 2006 imposed work rules, and through the 2009 pay arbitration, and then through the 2016 CBA pay rollover, why was it not found in the contract prep for the 2016 CBA negotiations? As part of any campaign, all the candidates have a record and achievements. We all have to be able to explain and support our records. Article 108 in pay is the single most important article in the contract. It is a fact that the 2016 CBA compensates ATC 4, 5, and 6 facilities at a rate lower than if pay reclass 1998 had not occurred. How that occurred is a question for my opponent in this election for EVP, and he will have to answer that satisfactorily if he wants to get elected. That is his story to tell, and I'm sure the 2,070 bargaining unit members in those facilities are waiting for his answer. We'll talk soon.